Now, we all know the two most important decisions we can ever make in life is who we choose to love romantically and what we choose to do professionally. Now, I cannot help you with the first one, good luck. But if I do my job in this video, I'm gonna share everything you need to know about how to choose the right career and how to navigate that career once you choose it. And this will go for entrepreneurs and aspiring entrepreneurs. So let's get right into it. I'll give you 3 tips on how to choose your career, 3 tips on how to navigate that career once you've chosen it. Tip number 1, disengage from autopilot. Chances are you're in your current job or career because it was just the next thing to do, not because it's actually something you want to do. I mean, think about it. We start in high school, and then from high school, you go to college. And in college, you're either a student athlete or you're socially overstimulated while recruiting for your professional career. So you never really had time to think about what you want to do. And that's important. So the point of disengage from autopilot is to take time to think and ask yourself, what do I want to do? Most of our friends and most professionals we know drift through life and they fell victim to the mundane experiences of life. And you don't want to do that. But it's easy to happen because we all get busy. We end up hoping we can find happiness once we get there instead of setting our true north and making decisions that make us happy along the way. And trust me, I know doctors, lawyers, engineers, professional athletes who are in their careers because they were on autopilot since they were an impressionable teenager, because maybe they saw something on TV or maybe their parents told them something, but they never took the time to really think about what they wanted to do. But does it bring you fulfillment? And you'll never find true fulfillment if you don't take a moment, disengage from autopilot, and think about where you're going. That's important. And this is actually a quite simple thing to do. It's as simple as skipping the next happy hour to go plan your life. Skipping the next Tatiana Thursdays or Thirsty Thursdays to go make sure you're being intentional about your career. Or even skipping the weekend turn up to go to a coffee shop in the morning, bring your laptop, put your phone on Do Not Disturb, and think. Here are some questions you may consider asking yourself while you're disengaging. What motivates me at work? Is it people? Is it pay? Is it autonomy and freedom? Is it mental stimulation? Considering my family, do I need to work full time? Can I work half time? What will move me closer to playing my infinite game? What is my infinite game? What type of work-life experience do I seek, and does this job support that? If I change absolutely nothing about where I'm going, will I be happy with where I am in 5 years? So the point in tip number 1 is you have the ability to control your professional experience, but you have to step away from the mundane, disengage autopilot, and take control of that. All right, moving on to number 2, and this is my favorite one. But before we get into number 2, do me a favor. Over 80% of you who watch the channel do not subscribe. And if I've added value to you in any way, whether it's entertainment, education, or inspiration, will you consider doing me a favor and hitting the subscribe button? It's free to you, and it means way more to the channel than you can imagine. If you do your part, I will continue to add value the best way I can, and we will grow together. Do we have a deal? Thank you. So tip number 2, my favorite, create your Mount Rushmore. You want to pick 4 aspirational figures and study them like your professional experience depends on it, because it very well can. Study their career moves. What schools did they go to? Do they have any publications? Read every single book, every article, watch every interview, and study them like your career depends on it. And the point of this is to not be like them, but to get inspiration for the various avenues that you can take to create your dream professional experience. Your professional career and your infinite game is much like art and much like the creative process, because it's more of a collaborative effort than an individual effort. So just like an artist, you can and you should gain inspiration from other people to help you curate your own masterpiece. And in this case, our masterpiece is to build a professional experience that we desire. For example, in my case, the people on my Mount Rushmore in the creator economy are Sahil Bloom, Stephen Bartlett, Ali Abdaal, and Nisha. And on the professional side, I have Robert Smith, Junior Bridgman, Greg Brenneman, and Neelan Youngblood. Now, as you can see, I have a lot of heavy hitters and billionaires on my Mount Rushmore, and that's okay. They don't always have to be attainable. But I study these individuals like Kobe studied Michael Jordan, like Christian studied Jesus Christ, and like Beyonce studied Tina Turner. And if you and I do this right, we should study the greats before us like our grandkids will study us someday. So don't take this lightly. And the last tip on how to choose a career is the T framework, or the T approach. Now, if we think of the letter T, it has a long bar up top and a deep bar down the middle. That's how you want to approach your career. Let me tell you what I mean by this. Whether you're picking a field now or you've already picked a career field, you want to think of exploring the layout of possibilities first to increase your surface area of luck by frequently saying yes to opportunities and gathering data. And remember, some industries are better for this than others, and I'll talk a little bit about that later. But this portion is the top part of the letter T. Then once you've discovered a career field or an industry, you'll want to double down and exploit the one that makes the most sense for you. And this is the long part of the T. So explore, then exploit. And the industry that you choose to exploit is up to you, but you want to take into account where you have your unfair advantages. Maybe it's your network, maybe it's something that makes you feel really good, or maybe it's something you know you have the capacity to learn the most about. Money follows expertise. You will need to exploit some industry or some lane to maximize your earning potential. Switch up. Got you. Real quick, 2 things. 1, don't get distracted. I still got some more game to give you. 2, remember, smash that like button for me. So what's next? Now you're off of autopilot, you've applied the T framework, and you've built your Mount Rushmore. What do you do after you've selected your career? So whether or not we want to work in corporate until we retire or go into entrepreneurship eventually, it benefits us to approach each lane as an entrepreneur. And here are 3 ways to do that. Leverage the explore then exploit advantage. When you spend time in a corporate role, you get to mitigate your risk and increase your chances for luck to be on your side before you strike out on your own. So you get to play the long game, you get to be patient and learn from your experiences in a lower stakes environment in your corporate setting. And if nothing catches fire for you entrepreneurially while you're exploring, then stay in your corporate role. It's okay. There's no harm in climbing the ladder if you choose, but you at least give yourself a fighting chance by implementing the rules we talked about earlier. Now, the second way to approach your corporate role as an entrepreneur is to slash your ignorance tax. Cut it. Your ignorance tax is simply the price you pay for your lack of experience. And the beauty of a corporate role is you get to pay down that tax on someone else's dime. And because you chose the right career, because you followed the steps we talked about earlier, you're having your industry fit the bill of your ignorance tax instead. Since money follows expertise, by gaining deep hands-on experience in your field, you can become a true domain expert on your employer's dime before taking the entrepreneurial leap. So whether you want to be an entrepreneur or not, you're in a great position professionally because your company is paying this tax. And if you decide to leave, you want to make sure you pay down as much of that tax as possible before you go into entrepreneurship. And the final way to approach your corporate career as an entrepreneur is to redefine what success looks like in your career. Normally, we equate success to promotions, right? So associate to managing director, consultant to partner, etc. But what would an entrepreneur do? Success in your corporate career doesn't look like climbing the ladder. It looks like skill acquisition. The final piece to navigating your career as an entrepreneur is filling those 3 buckets we've talked about that will make you failure-proof: your knowledge, your skills, and your network. Now, I'm not saying life won't happen, but by filling these 3 buckets, you know what to do because you've navigated your professional experience well. So this is how you should be measuring if you are having success in your professional career. Am I learning? Do I have skills to bet on myself? And do I know who can help me when life happens? That's how you approach your corporate career as an entrepreneur. So in practice, let's say there's a normal promotion cycle in your job of 2 years. So you work there for 2 years before you promote to the next thing. But if you haven't acquired the skill that you need to acquire in that first 2 years, it's okay to take 2.5 or maybe 3 years to learn that skill. Remember, you're playing your game. Talk to the right people, pull the right triggers, but this is something that you have to decide for yourself. So maybe you want to hang in a certain department of your firm as opposed to touching multiple industries. So success to you may be industry exposure as opposed to promotion. Redefining corporate success means knowing your game, defining your game, and playing your game. You're an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not on you. It's not on your title. It's in you. Remember that. If you choose the right corporate setting like we've talked about, you will land in a phenomenal place to develop your skills, meet incredible mentors, take on exceptional challenges, and sharpen your tools for entrepreneurship or for a successful corporate career. But you have to choose well. Now, for the entrepreneurs out there, I know what you may be thinking. Hey, a corporate role may stifle the skills that make a good entrepreneur. I don't want to become another cog in the wheel. Look, I get all of that. But remember what I said earlier. A real entrepreneur knows it doesn't matter what position you find yourself in. If you're in the military, if you're a doctor, it doesn't matter. Entrepreneurship is a mindset. It's in you. It's not on your title. So you can approach any role as an entrepreneur. And another thing an entrepreneur knows, you can endure anything if you know you are doing it for a good time and not a long time, as long as you are moving towards your North Star. So with that, you can be creative, you can take risks, you can mold and shape your corporate strategy and fill any gaps that will make you comfortable enough to fully dive into entrepreneurship. Remember, it's a mindset. It's in you, not on you. So don't be so quick to dismiss the value of a corporate experience. Lean into it, own it, make it yours, and use it to your advantage. It is okay to do the unsexy thing first to get to the sexy thing later. And a lot of corporate roles are sexy. I will do more videos on those sexy roles. So as you venture into your careers and plan your next move, remember to approach each step as an entrepreneur. Be intentional, be strategic, and be patient. You're not just building a resume, you're crafting your masterpiece. So as you navigate through corporate corridors and entrepreneur avenues, remember that every experience, every connection, and every skill acquired is a stroke on the canvas of your ultimate masterpiece. Be bold, be brave, and most importantly, be you. The world needs more of you. Now, I mentioned earlier that choosing the right corporate experience is a key piece to this whole puzzle. But how do we know which corporate experience is right for us? Well, in this video, I break down what I believe to be one of the best industries to start your professional career in. Check it out. Let me know what you think. Test. So I think this is recording. So I'll give you 3 tips on how to choose your career and 3 chips. Maybe this is a good blooper. I don't know. That's okay. The editor will fix it. That's why I pay him. I might come, I might go, I don't know. Was that Drake? That is Drake. He's losing the beef right now. I'm out. Be easy. Mic drop. No, that's expensive.